Hey everybody, welcome. I want to make sure everybody can hear me before I um, start diving into the content. So please let me know who you are, that you can hear me, that my voice sounds great, whatever exciting things you want to add. Okay, Michelle, can you hear me? Excellent, 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 excellent. Am I sounding loud and clear? Everybody, let me know where you're from, all that good stuff. Oh, yay, Michelle, you can hear me. Woo! Um, awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I just want to, and oh, yay! And Lynn, you can hear me? Awesome. Okay. I am so excited about the challenge for today. And so I just want to introduce myself. Welcome, everybody. And please let me know who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff, how your weather is. We have an absolutely phenomenal day here in Boston. And so if you're new to my community, new to my training, I'm Kate Peters. I'm your breakthrough success expert. And I'm here with some really exciting things I want to teach you. This is day one of a 3-day challenge. It's called the Brilliant Challenge. It's brand new. I'm super, super excited. You could ask my team. They will tell you, yes, Kate is super excited. I am super excited for all this. Because I'm going to be sharing some really, really cool stuff that I know has made a difference in my life. It's made a difference in my client's life. And I know if you pay attention, it's going to make a huge difference in your life. So let me see who's there. Hey, Helen and Lynn, greetings from Mexico. And hello to Michelle in London. Hey, Helen, how are you? So everybody, I'm really, really excited about this. And I'm going to ask too that please share this when this is over. If you enjoyed it, if you get something out of it, please share with your community, because I believe, we all help each other. And, why not? Why not see your friends, your community and all that grow? So let me tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this. It's called a Breakthrough Challenge, and it's a 3-day challenge. And the reason I wanted to do this is that I know that a lot of people have goals or dreams or visions, and somehow along the line you get stuck and you don't hit what it is that you want to hit. You don't reach that thing that you really wanted. And so I wanted to share with you both some mindset techniques and maybe a few strategies to help you keep moving forward. And I believe that is super, super important. I also wanted to give you help on helping you focus in for the future. And what I find too is that especially, certain times of the year, it's easy to let other things slide by and get caught up, or it could just be life. You get caught up with life, and then all of a sudden you turn around and those things that you really wanted, are still that much further away. Maybe they're even farther away. So one of the keys, honestly, to reaching your dreams and your goals and all that is consistency. And so I want to share with you some strategies and, like I said, mindset techniques over the next couple of days. We're going to have some tapping tomorrow, which I'm really excited about to introduce you to, and some other stuff. And just to share this with you, so that way that makes you that much closer and feeling that much more confident that you will actually reach all that you want to have. So what I'm also going to ask you to do is go through this, in case over the 3 days there's something I'm sharing with you that maybe you've heard before. I'm really going to suggest to you something I do whenever I go to any kind of training or event or whatever is I go in with beginner's mind, or sometimes it's called Buddha's mind. So I'm just going to help my girl down. Here's my girl for everybody who's never seen her. She wants to go down, so take her down now instead of later. Oh, hey, Sarah, I see you're there. And so I want to share with you that it's really important. Oh, thank you for the likes. How about some hearts too, Sarah? And so I want to share with you, it's really important whenever you are learning things to have beginner's mind or Buddha's mind, whatever you want to call that, because if you knew, in all honesty, if you knew how to do all this stuff, you'd already be doing this, right? And having all this stuff you want. So even if there is something over the 3 days that maybe you're like, I've kind of heard this before, or I tried it, whatever, you still go along with it. Try it and see how it all goes for you. So first thing I want to just share with you is, because I'm going to be using this word over the 3 days, and the word is brilliance. And I want to explain to you how I define that. And for me, what brilliance means is, if you looked in the dictionary, they would talk about, for example, like how smart you are, what your IQ is, things like this. And I'm not talking about that. Although I will promise you that if you are watching this, if you're a part of my community, I would promise you that you are probably very smart. You're probably also very talented, because I tend to attract those type of people. But what I'm more so talking about with brilliance is more your inner brilliance. And what that means is that when everything is just so aligned, that what you're doing, how you're showing up, how you're feeling, how you're acting, everything is just right there. And it's interesting. I used to say, like, you're in flow. And I've noticed in my neuroscience studies, they also talk about this. So it's a neuroscience term too. I didn't know that before I started using it. So it is that as well. And I liken it that, sometimes, like, if I'm on stage or I'm speaking to a client, I'll be like, hey, did someone just record that or video, record it or write it down, because what I just said was like so brilliant. And it's just these things that pop out, whoever you are, whatever your expertise is, and you just sit there and go like, wow, because the stuff was inside of you and just waiting to come out. And when you're in this place of brilliance, what happens is it's much easier for you, and you're much more likely to attract all the amazing and cool things that you want in your life, whether it's opportunities, whether it's people, whether it's money, all sorts of abundance, and live a much happier and better life, and of course better business or career. So you want to be in your brilliance. And I also tell people that, for my clients, that they're like, yeah, when I'm feeling brilliant, I would just do this stuff all day long and wouldn't care if anyone paid me. And I'm like, yeah, do it all day long. That's what we want for you. But yes, I also want you to get paid. So just so you know that. So anyways, what I want to talk about in today's training and today's challenge, because there is going to be an assignment at the end, is I want to talk about the power of imagination. And if anybody has read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he also talks about, that's one of the keys to success. And when you think about it, when you were like a little kid, you had an imagination. Maybe you had an imaginary friend, like a playmate or imaginary pet. Maybe in school, can you remember like looking out the window, and your teacher would be like, pay attention, like, Kate, pay attention, or whomever you were, whatever your first name is, like, pay attention, and getting you to plug in and focus in, because your teacher wanted you to be paying attention to what the teacher was teaching and not to let your imagination run wild. So basically you were conditioned at a very early age to not really use your imagination, to not rely on your imagination. And I want to kind of help you pull all that back in, because that's extremely important if you want to reach your dreams. And for me, when I was a little girl, I used to watch the reruns of the TV show Bewitched. Did anybody ever watch that TV show, either when it was live or reruns? Can I get some hearts or likes if you ever did? And if you never saw the show, just kind of in a nutshell, Samantha was the good witch, and she was married to a fellow named Darren, who was a mortal. And whenever she wanted something, all she had to do was wiggle her nose. So let's say they were invited to a fancy party and she needed something to wear. She would just like wiggle her nose, and then this gorgeous dress would show up in her closet. Or let's say her husband called her up and was like, honey, I'm bringing over important clients for dinner. We need something really fancy. Well, she'd wiggle her nose. The house would get cleaned. I mean, seriously, wouldn't that be cool? Have your house just cleaned. And then, of course, like a 3 or 5 course meal was instantly prepared that she didn't have to do. So I thought this is a really cool way of living. And my imagination kind of ran with that. And I was like, this is like my destiny. This is where I want to go. I want to be like her. And I figured if I wiggled my nose long enough and practiced hard enough, when I grew up, I would be her. And one of the reasons I really believe that is that my uncle actually created the TV show Bewitched. So I figured it was genetic. It was in my blood. How sometimes you inherit things, like maybe you inherit an athletic ability or a musical ability or whatever. I figured, being able to manifest, that is in my blood. And fast forward, I didn't grow up to be Samantha, but I did become really, really amazing at attracting abundance and also being able to magnetize the stuff into my life. But what I really did learn from this is that the universe is unlimited in what we can actually attract in terms of abundance. It isn't just like I get it and you don't. It isn't just like you get it and somebody else does, or they get it and those people don't. It's there for all of us. It's really just understanding the process of how to make it happen. But it's there for all of us. There is no limit. It isn't some people do, some people don't. It's just really understanding how it works. And once you do, it's not that complicated, but it's just a matter of getting into that process. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, first of all, I want you to think about what is something, because we're going to be pulling this in, what is something that you'd really like to create in the next 18 to 24 months? And I'm going to ask you to share it in the thread on Facebook and write it down too. But what's something, so for example, you want to add a couple zeros onto your bank account. That's things my clients have done. Or you want to open a second location. That's something else one of my clients have done. Or you want to grow your business, get more clients. You want to go on a certain, very cool vacation, or you want a car, or you want to, build a team, whatever the heck it might be. Maybe you want summers off, whatever it is. What is something that you would like to have be part of your life in the next 18 to 24 months? And I would love for you to share it in this thread, because that'll help me over the 3 days as I'm pulling in examples to kind of, see what it is that you guys are looking to manifest and kind of use that as examples. So go ahead and write that down. And if you're willing to share it in the thread. And anybody new joining us, please say hi. Okay, Michelle, you want to lose weight? So we're going to put that in the positive. We're going to say we want like a fit, toned, sexy body, something like that, right? Because nobody, when you think about losing something, that always kind of is like a negative thing. So let's go to the positive. Like you want to just look, gorgeous, right? Which you already are. And then Sarah, you're saying you want to add a couple zeros to your bank account. Excellent. Okay. So if anybody else wants to add anything, that would be awesome too. And write these things down too, and write them in the positive. So Helen, you just wrote pay off debt. So maybe you might want to think about how can you put that as a positive. And thank you guys for the hearts. Maybe saying that you're financially free or you're debt free, something like that, right? So whatever these things are, and thank you guys for the hearts. Just write them in the thread, because again, that helps me for examples over the next couple of days. Write them down. Now what I want you to do is I want everyone to do a nice big stretch and yawn. And if you've ever been to either coach with me or been to one of my events, I have people do this a lot. So go like this, go, oh, doesn't it feel so good, right? And that's actually a bit of neuroscience. It's kind of like a recharge for your brain. So if you didn't do it yet, go ahead and do that. And I'm going to give you an exercise to do. And Lynn, you want to go another family vacation? Where do you want to go in 3 years? And yep, Helen, financially free. So where do you want to go, Lynn? You just came back from Italy. Where's the next place? Is it Europe? Is it the Pacific? Hawaii, back to Canada. Where is it, right? So really start getting in tune with that. And then everybody do the stretch and yawn if you haven't done it yet. And then we're going to do a visualization exercise. And I'm going to have you close your eyes. And this is provided, of course, you're not driving. Don't do it if you're not you're not somewhere safe, but this is provided, you're sitting down, you're kind of in front of your computer, your phone, or your iPad or whatever. And so do your stretching yawn and then close your eyes and get nice and relaxed. And maybe if you wear glasses, you might even want to take off your glasses too, just to be nice and relaxed. And what I want you to do is we're going to be focusing on who do you have to be to have this thing? All right. So just kind of close your eyes for a moment. Who do you have to be to have this thing happen? And so go ahead, do a stretch and yawn. And so what I want you to think about, go ahead and open your eyes again for a minute. We're going to come back to the exercise in a second. And what I want you to think about is we're going to start getting into who you need to be. So you might have heard of lottery ticket winners, for example, the ones who win the $1 million or a couple million, right? And it's really cool. They win a couple million, and what do, right? They go out and they buy the McMansion. Maybe they buy a fast car or a fast boat, buy some fancy jewelry, maybe some gifts for some people. And then what happens in a couple of years, right? Almost all the money's gone. And so why does this happen? Well, what I believe it has to do with their self-image, because when they've done studies, most of the people who have won lottery tickets have been people who have, where they were hourly workers. They're buying lottery tickets every single week, and then bam, something happens. They're one of however many millions, and they happen to win. But they have this mindset of an hourly worker living paycheck to paycheck. So they don't have the new mindset of being somebody who's got financial wealth, who has abundance. Instead, they have somebody who's more probably in debt, paying paycheck to paycheck, and just kind of making it through each time they get a paycheck. So if you were actually somebody already at 7 figures, for example, and somebody who's financially solvent, and you won those couple of million, or were gifted that couple million, somehow you got it, I promise you that you'd be sitting there saying, like, what's the best ROI? What's the best return on investment I can get for this money? Maybe you'd have a team to help you invest. Maybe you'd already have done research, but you would not just quick blow that money. So we're going to get in touch with on today's challenge of how to really get into who you need to be to have this thing, whatever it is. That's why I had you guys write it, whether it's adding a couple zeros on your bank account, whether it's getting a nice sexy body, getting fit and toned, whether it's going on that family vacation to Spain or Iceland or Alaska, or being financially free, whatever the heck it might be, who do you need to be? So again, we're going to do a nice big stretch and yawn. And everyone close their eyes, again, provided you're somewhere safe. And I just want to kind of guide you through this visualization. Just get nice and relaxed and think about, who do you need to be to have this thing, whatever this thing is that you wrote down that you wanted. Who do you need to be? And let's start with, like, so how are you looking? You know, how are you looking at 18 to 24 months from now when you have this thing or at that place? You know, maybe is your hair different? Is your hair the same? Do you still wear the same type of clothes? Maybe you're dressing more professionally or more formally, or maybe you're more casual. You know, who are you hanging out with? Are you hanging out with the same people? You know, they say that your income and your success is the average of the 5 people you associate with. So are you still hanging out with the same people, or are you pulling new people in? And who do those people need to be? What's your free time look like? You know, are you going to yoga classes? Are you taking educational classes? Are you sleeping late? Are you going for walks? Are you playing with your dog? You know, what are you doing on your free time that's different? Because to have this new thing, you've got to show up differently. And how about where you're working? You know, if you're in corporate, maybe you're out of a cubicle and maybe you're in a private office. What does the private office look like? You know, are there windows? Do you have flowers in the office? What's your desk and chair look like? Or if you're working out of your home, what does that look like? Maybe you've gotten a new chair. Maybe you've redesigned the space you're working at. You know, what does all this look like for you? And how about, do you have a mentor? Do you have a coach? How are they helping you? What are they teaching you? So really, we're going to do this for a little bit longer, about another 30 seconds longer. And I want you to really kind of get into this visualization of what it looks like. And I really want you to start getting into, what is the feeling? If you were able to do this, if you were able to take your family on vacation, or you were able to be more financially free, or have that sexy body, or have those zeros in your bank account, how the heck would you be feeling? Amazing, awesome, free, confident, excited, proud. Get whatever those emotions are, really get into those feelings, and maybe even put a smile on your face. Just get really, really close to this visualization, really see it. We'll spend a few more seconds on it. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can go ahead and shake it off. Open your eyes. And how did that feel for everybody? I'd love to see some comments in here, how that felt for you. What were the emotions that popped up for you? And so one thing I want to share with you is that the way the laws of attraction work is that it starts in your mind first. So if you can visualize it in your mind, then it can come and take place in your life. But it has to start in your mind. If it doesn't start in your mind, you're not going to have it. So even just thinking about this iPhone, the iPhone started in Steve Jobs' mind, right? Yeah, this thing. And sometimes it just seems like a crazy fantasy. Like, how can I ever create this type of thing? But that's how it has to start. It has to start in your mind. Anybody who's invented anything, it always started in the mind. Anybody who's successful, it always starts in the mind. Okay? So it's okay, you know, and understand too, one thing I learned too with my studies in neuroscience is that visualization is actually, they've done all the studies, all the neuroscientists, that it's actually really helpful in achieving goals. So, okay, so Sarah's saying feels great, it feels free, it feels powerful. Yeah. And so neuroscience, what they highly recommend, and what they recommend is that you visualize at least once a day for a couple of minutes, that you really have some clarity. That's why I didn't just say, like, picture just having this thing. I want you to really get in touch with who you need to be for all this to happen. And what are the emotions? Okay. So don't worry if any hows popped up for you, like, well, how am I going to get this to happen? Or what do I need to do? Don't worry about that for right now, because we're going to deal with that in the next two challenge days. We're going to do some tapping and all sorts of stuff. Michelle, like you're saying, I can see it, Ling, like powerful. Yeah, so don't worry about the hows. We're going to get into that tomorrow. But what I'm going to give you for homework is I want you to, later on today, maybe before you go to sleep tonight, you know, set your phone for like 1 or 2 minutes and do this visualization again. And then when we meet back tomorrow, go ahead and post on the thread, because I'll ask you, like, how did it feel? Share with how that feels. And the thing is, if you have done visualizations before, I want to share with you, it's not about me proving any of this to you. It's about the process proving it to yourself. And you've got to be the one willing to do this, because if you don't do it, nothing will ever happen. But the thing is that I know for a fact, both myself and with my clients, is that once you really start getting in touch with who that future self is and how you're showing up, the process starts moving for you, and the faster and faster it can happen. So I want to invite you to join me tomorrow, same time. We're going to do some more work, and there'll be a new challenge tomorrow, again, with some tapping and some cool stuff. I would love, love, love for you to share this training with your community. Let's have more people get into this, because can you imagine a world full of really brilliant people? I think we need that right now, truthfully. People who are excited and feeling powerful and free and great and all this kind of stuff. And if you do have any questions, always feel free, email my team, info@katebeaters.com. That's info@katebeaters.com. And we're happy to answer any questions. So I'm really excited all of you are here. And Helen, you've got your notes. Excellent. Please share this with your community. And thank you guys for all the hearts and being here. And tomorrow is going to be even more powerful. I'm so excited we're going to be doing some tapping and some stuff. So thank you all for being here. And until we meet again, be brilliant. Bye now.